You're listening to the Nerd to Know Media Network. Join us at nerdtoknowmedia.com.
Broadcasting from the Blanchistan Center, this is Phoenix FM.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share facts.
According to the Nerd Index, you should be upside down in a junior high toilet around the clock.
This is We'll do it live! Time goes in, time goes out. Never miscommunication.
It's over 9,000! My name is Foxy.
The balls are in there. Do a barrel roll! Don't phase me, bro! It's a trap! I'm a firing believer! Time to do. Hey, Charlie, wake up! Oh, God, oh, man!
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Nerd to Know Basis Show, airing on Phoenix 92.5 FM, or all those wonderful places on the internet. I am Cian, and introduce yourselves in alphabetical order, please.
Ahoy, it's Zara.
And I'm Kev.
Oh,
First try! Excellent, that only took 175 episodes.
It really helps when there's
100,
two of us.
145 episodes, excuse you. Or wait, I don't know how many shows we have. Hold on, I'm going to look it up. Talk amongst yourself, hold on.
Everyone, if you wouldn't mind just pulling over your cars and just waiting,
just wait.
or whatever.
No. Everybody
Okay,
pull over your car and look up your Spotify listing, because that'll tell us.
It is
And then email us.
Yes.
182 shows.
108. Oh, so I was lowballing.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't on for all of them, but still, that is quite a milestone. Welcome to our 182 episode spectacular.
So thank you for wasting at least 182 hours with us. We appreciate it. Where we talk about nothing.
We talk about everything.
And don't think otherwise. Believe us, it has been a waste.
It is a massive waste, but we appreciate that you guys are wasting time with us.
Oh, I do the social media for this thing. Anyway, so we have a lot to talk about. We have some brand new big sci-fi things like The Mandalorian and Picard. We have some video game things. But I believe that Kev, you and Dara both saw Demon Slayer separately or possibly together. Who knows?
Separately, no, because going to see anime in the cinema is a deeply shameful thing, and you only have to do it alone.
Hold on.
We've learned this.
Well, okay, right. Perhaps, but here's the thing, Kev. I was expecting the same. My usual, 4 people that walk in. So that weird guy that comes in halfway through, then leaves, and comes back in. I was expecting that. No, I walked into a packed cinema, and I was like, what? I don't like this at all.
I know Demon Slayer is like the new hotness.
Yeah, it's so
Demon Slayer
popular.
is a global phenomenon.
So, full disclosure, Kev, obviously you're going to talk about this, but from my experience, I knew nothing about this walking in. I know nothing about walking. I had a good time. I don't know what it's about or what was happening.
So you were like Homer Simpson watching Twin Peaks, basically, like.
Oh yeah, like at the end of it, some lad shows up and they're all like, oh, and I'm like,
yeah.
What?
See, here's the thing. Like, okay, I do want to actually get a bit of backstory on this.
Of course.
So Demon Slayer.
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. So Demon Slayer, just as people may know, is just a truly like smash hit anime and manga series from a couple of years ago. Like smash hit in the way that it almost outsold One Piece.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, and I think it ended that year pretty much. So if it had kept going, very likely could have. Hugely popular, made in no small part by its absolutely stellar anime. So anime had its season 1, great, critical success. The studio and the production committee decided that they would take the story then and continue the story in a movie format. So what was effectively the start of season 2 was taking place in the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie at the start of 2021. Which, if you know,
So wait, if I'm keeping up with this, sorry, are they
Yeah.
now making original material not based on the manga or what?
No. This was very much the continuation of the story.
Right. Okay.
So what the stuff that follows season 1 of the manga, they made into a movie.
Right.
And it was its
Gotcha,
own
gotcha.
kind of short arc that fit perfectly into like a 90-minute movie. And you know what? That movie was a smash. I think, and I'm not saying that lightly. I think it was the highest grossing movie in Japan. Full stop.
Yeah, because quite often, like as Dara kind of alluded to, the anime things come out, and I don't think it's quite as shameful as the thing you alluded to. But there is this notion that it's a very niche thing that might be on for 2 days.
No, hold on, Kane.
But I saw Demon Slayer was like in all the cinemas I passed.
Yeah, but hold on, Kane. I mean, as I said, I've gotten very comfortable to it being a shameful thing, where I walk in and there's like 2 other people, and then you try not to make eye contact. And then, as I said, that weird guy comes in and then leaves again all the time. So I'm disappointed. Everybody who went to see Demon Slayer. I wanted my experience of basically being in the cinema by myself. So
I see. So you went in there to be left alone.
Yes, we need to make anime shameful again.
Oh, believe me, it's doing that itself. Anyway, Mugen Train, smash it for so many factors, mostly because it was kind of the only movie that came out in 2020.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a critical success. Season 2 came not long after, and what they did was basically split the stuff from Mugen Train up into about 4 or 5 episodes and had that start season 2, and then season 2 ran the rest of its course.
See, that's interesting, because usually my experience with anime films, although it wouldn't be as broad as the two of you, is that the films are sort of like fun specials that have nothing to do with the ongoing plot.
Usually, yeah. This was kind of an outlier.
Yeah.
And I think like it's going to be a trendsetter on this for a while now. So they announced that a season 3 is coming out later this year, and then announced ahead of time. And we're going to put, here's a movie. Here's we're going to put To the Swordsmith Village on the big screen. Now, I didn't look terribly into the marketing for this. However, it's not that I wasn't not exposed to any marketing. So I was led to believe that this was going to be a movie.
To be fair, yes, they make it seem it's going to be a movie.
Let me tell you now, like this, it was a short run. Like it's already finished its run by the time we're recording this. But make no mistake, this was not a movie.
It was not a movie.
Okay, so the Demon Slayer second movie is not a movie.
It's not a movie.
It's not a movie.
Right.
So we get in, we start. It's like a couple of minutes of recap from stuff from season 1, stuff from Mugen Train, and then like a little bit from like the rest of season 2.
Right.
And then they just start playing the last 2 episodes from season 2.
Yes.
Like
Intro
full
credits.
on, like not like same animation, everything.
Intro credits, mid cards, end credits, and all. 2 episodes.
That is shameful.
Now, to be fair, everybody had the same reaction. A lot got up to leave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they sat back.
Yeah, like that's kind of confusion, but also the fight scenes in it do look great.
They do. I have no attachment to it, right? It could have been the best thing in the world. It could have been the greatest thing in the world. I went in because I wanted a hot dog, right? And I had nothing else to do before Metal
And the only place you could eat a hot dog was in an empty cinema.
Well,
Right.
and I mean, you can have the hot dog and you can watch it on the big screen. It's a good
Yeah,
time,
that's fair.
right?
That does sound like a lovely evening.
And I had a couple of hours before Metal to the Masters and Fibbers. So I didn't really care what I was watching. However, if I was like Kev, someone who's vehemently into anime and was expecting a movie, I'd be very upset too.
And here's the thing though. So that was the first half. So then we actually got to the new stuff. And again, I was falsely led. Because as opposed to any sort of self-contained story,
no.
It's just the first 2 episodes of the next season.
And ends on a cliffhanger.
And ends where an episode 2 of a full season would end.
Yeah.
So you went to the cinema to watch 4 episodes of television.
Yeah.
That's like the Itchy and Scratchy movie, isn't it? 53% new footage.
To be fair though, Hot Dog was pretty good.
I'm glad,
I was happy enough.
That's the thing. I think Dara, I'm assuming you went to Cineworld. I went to the Lighthouse. Yeah. I'm not blaming the cinemas on this. This is very much on the falls of the feet of whatever production committee decided this.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Right. Where I was like, this is not a movie. You said it was a movie.
Did your crowd have the same reaction? Where when the credits started rolling at the end, nobody actually believed it was over.
Yeah, so no, because okay, so the first when the first episode ended, people got up, and then it was like, oh, okay, this is fair enough. Then when the credits went up, I was like, what? They just revealed someone, and then that was it, and then they were all disappointed.
That's I think my crowd, which was I think my crowd was a lot more like what you would have expected, maybe about 20 people.
Yeah,
right.
No, no, this was a full screen.
People went to Cineworld. Nobody wanted to go to the Lighthouse. I don't want to tell you. I also went on a Monday. So
the hot dog. I told you, the hot dogs in Cineworld are really good. So that's why they went there.
Yeah, no, I think like my crowd's reaction was very much that the last credits started rolling, and nobody got up until they actually finished and the lights went off because I think everyone was in a disbelief that was it.
That's what I did. I actually just sat there and waited for the lights to come up because I'm like, I'm not moving again because
they can't lie to me.
They can't lie. Yeah, it's like I've already looked like a tit once. I'm not going to do it again. It's like
okay, but like I mean, I know you're explaining it both very clearly, but like, did they even like dress it up or like kind of put a sheen on, like an animation sheen?
So
it was like,
sorry. The only email I did get one email, Kev. I need to be with journalistic integrity because we're journalists here.
Of course,
yeah, we're not though. But. But like for full disclosure, I did get an email from Cineworld about the screening to inform me it would be in Japanese, which that is totally fine.
Yeah,
that was the only email that I got.
No, there was like there was no dress up, but the thing about Demon Slayer is that the quality of animation from the start of this series has always been kind of movie level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, it again, as bizarre as the format and the amount of stuff I actually got, what was there looked great.
Did.
And again, I like from your perspective, you have no idea what's going on there, I presume.
Still don't.
No, because there is literally no context. You watch the final act of one season and the start of a next.
Yep.
Without any, like I mentioned, there was recaps. The recaps tell you nothing. They reminded people who saw the other things of what had happened. They won't tell any person a goddamn thing.
It's like lads running after demons. They kill the demon. And that's it. And then they go and try to get a new sword for the lad who wants to kill the demon.
I would love if because I'm hoping a dub will come someday, and I hope it is called Lads Running After Demons next to like the epic Japanese font.
But that's what they do.
Yeah.
And then he chips a sword, and then he has to go get a new one.
Yeah.
And that's it.
There's also one extra just wrinkle on top of my whole cinema experience. Just that was particular to mine. That was just kind of I found odd. And that's a couple who brought their full on, like, I want to say 3, definitely no older than 5-year-old daughter.
Oh.
Demon Slayer's not like a young anime.
It's
pretty
not.
Gruesome.
It's incredibly violent.
No, but there is something, not that I recommend it to kids, there is something about the color palette of it or something, because Prim caught us watching it wandering through the room, and she wanted to see more, and we wouldn't let her, and she did not let us forget that we did not let her watch it.
It's
so
very
there might be something there,
But the thing about anime, right, when it's... So, I learned this very young. So anime rating is very different than like normal rating.
Right.
And again, like, so a 15 anime is going to be incredibly violent. Like incredibly violent.
That's Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah, no, it's going to be incredibly violent and like beyond the realm of what would be acceptable even to see on TV. In 18's anime, there's going to be...
Oh, that's just a snuff film.
Or there's going to be heavy sexual assault, right? And that's just it. So When I'm talking to animated people, and again, my knowledge isn't as deep as Kev's and stuff like that. Look, some people will ask me for anime. I'm like, with their kids or whatever. I'm like, yeah, here, don't. If it says 18 on it, do not watch it. If it says 15, don't watch it. Like, I mean, even after 12, like, I mean, that's kind of what a 15's movie would be for the West. So yeah, I mean, she might not be happy about it, but you could also traumatize her. For example, the first anime I saw in my life, Street Fighter 2, the movie.
Oh, I don't even know that's a thing.
Kev, have you seen it?
Like what? An animated one?
The movie, yeah. It's unreal.
Okay, I haven't seen that because all I know is the Street Fighter live action movie.
I was gonna say,
dude.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
here's what we're doing. Your homework now for next week is to watch that. Everybody, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna do a review of it because it is the best anime ever. However, it's not something a 6-year-old should see because it has graphic violence in it, and there's a very famous shower scene in it with Chun-Li.
Right.
It's very good. Like, the movie is
anime.
No, the anime is actually like the movie is actually really, really good.
Okay.
But that was my first exposure to anime, and then I saw Pokemon.
I was gonna say you somehow did that before Pokemon.
Yeah, because my dad was like, "Oh, you like Street Fighter and cartoons? Here you go." He wasn't wrong. So yeah, it's Street Fighter, the animated movie, I think it's called. It's very good.
All right, we've got our homework now.
Look, I guarantee you will have a great time. It's a fantastic
I don't
movie.
doubt it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Service announcement: it is on YouTube.
Sweet, watch it on YouTube. It's super
Now,
good.
as someone who hasn't watched much Demon Slayer, like Kev, would you recommend the cinematic experience to either people who have not seen it or people who have seen Demon Slayer?
Neither.
Neither. Okay.
Like, just wait the month until the season. Like, again, the run's already finished, so like what I say doesn't matter. But the season's going to start like I think in April, and you're gonna watch that same episode again. You've already seen season 2. You've already seen the first half of this. No,
right. So it's a film for no one.
Yeah, like it's a film for if people like if they advertised it as an advanced preview of season 3.
Yeah.
That's it. And that would have been fine, but that's not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, or because like I'm thinking of say Hero Academia. If it was like honest and it was like, all right, it's something you've seen before, but we're going to do the big fight between All Might and All for One on the cinema screen. You'd be like, all right, bit of novelty, 5 episodes is a cinema thing. Why not? Like, maybe take the credits out.
Well,
they didn't even do that. They didn't even. So bizarre.
Get at least like you can rent Premiere Pro for a month.
Yeah,
just cut things.
I don't know why they did that. It was
the mid cards for like halfway through the episodes were still there.
Yeah, it was so bizarre, and I'm like,
shameless.
It was so bizarre. To be fair though, everyone had a really good time where it was. They're all super happy.
Yeah. Like genuinely though, I would actually, as I said earlier, because it's definitely like the vibe I get off of this is because of how successful Mugen Train was. They were like, let's try that again, except not make a whole movie.
Imagine if we could make another movie without making a movie. How would that work?
Literally. But I would actually genuinely recommend Mugen Train to anyone that hasn't seen Demon Slayer, even though, as I said, it starts where like season 2 starts. It's its own pretty self-contained narrative.
Okay, would you find that on Crunchyroll or something?
Yeah, it should be on Crunchyroll. Yeah.
See, I mean, I know we've kind of given our verdict on it already, but like, I'm just fascinated because you had loads of like straight, like cheap sequels to movies in the 80s where they literally like reuse like footage from the first one, but they'd at least film like a wraparound or like a framing device, like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, or any of those. Like, this is an astonishing lack of effort by the sound of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look,
I mean, Dara, having you essentially represent the non-Demon Slayer fan in the room. Like, would you recommend this experience if the hot dog wasn't involved?
No.
the sadness.
Kev, no, Keen, how dare you? Taking,
No, you
joy
have as many
from my
hot dogs
life.
as you want. I just mean in terms of the critical aspect of the film.
What part of this do you understand? I didn't care what movie it was. I was just like, it's on.
Look,
And I
you're
wanted
the
a
one
hot
talking about journalistic integrity. If you write up a review that says "good hot dog, 5 stars," people are going to get confused.
I was wondering who kept writing that on our Google reviews.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I go to the cinema for many reasons, but the majority of the time is I have a Cineworld card. I'm in town and I have nothing else to do for an hour or two, and I don't have my gym gear. I'll go to the cinema. So it could be anything. And I just really wanted a hot dog.
So,
my
so Dara, tell
gosh.
us, give us an advance preview. What's on the cards for the next anime visit?
Oh man, I have no idea. I just check on the day.
I mean, maybe we can make this a thing. Maybe you'll do signings there.
He's been doing it for the past 3
Yeah,
weeks.
for ages.
He's come to every show with an anime, with a random anime that he watched. That I've had to explain to him.
Hold on, what's on this week? Well, see, Saturday when we're folks. Obviously, we're at Comic-Con this week. But you know,
we from your point of view, we've done it. From our point of view, we haven't. I'm not going to kayfabe or whatever.
Okay, hold on, let's see.
You broke the illusion.
You broke kayfabe.
We're looking forward to it. You have already seen it. Let us know how it went.
going to pile drive you.
So Demon, so unfortunately, Demon Slayer is still on this weekend, but the following weekend, I think that's when it changes. So hold on. No, it's still Demon Slayer all the way through. So I'm gonna have to wait
all the way down.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, then I guess it is still on. Hey, people, don't go see this movie. Just
come see. Well, no, you can't come see us. I hope you came to see us.
Well,
We were on at 11.
hold on. If you didn't come see us, it's going to be on the feed, and we have a Patreon.
There you go.
And then we can all buy hot dogs.
Getting our plugs in early. What is it going to be in the
Please.
mysterious J.J. Abrams
please,
mystery box?
I come with hat in hand. My family need hot dogs.
So I can watch random anime too. So we can watch random anime.
At least some mustard.
Actually, so I was in IKEA this week, right?
Right.
And because we had to like redo the spare room because the spare room was here. Funny story. If you go through a pandemic and then go on tour and then, you know, go back into martial arts and buy all the stuff you need for it, or store all the stuff you need for it, and then just throw everything into a room, guess what happens to the room?
It gets full.
Yeah. So we had to actually empty out a full room. Like you couldn't even get into the room. We had to empty all out, and then we went to IKEA, and we actually bought like enough to so the whole thing is like shelled out and looks really nice now. I'll send you guys a picture later on. So it's properly cool. And I went to IKEA, and they also sold hot dogs for 75 cents. I was so happy. So happy.
Listen, you're speaking, you're preaching to the choir. I love a good IKEA trip.
IKEA is the best, man.
We're
not okay. Sorry, since we're on the radio, we're not sponsored by IKEA or Cineworld. We just like those places.
I just enjoy being
IKEA were
there.
really
Just enjoy those
starving
places.
publicity before we came along.
Now I will say my IKEA trips have taken a noticeable dip in quality since they got rid of the denim couch. That was a highlight of most every one of my trips.
They had to throw it out after people kept eating meatballs on them.
See, the thing about it was like I was like, you know, this trip's going to be about €400, and it was, you know, like with all the units and stuff that we got. But I was like, you know, when you have a family card, you get free coffee and tea, which is cool, and a hot. Like, I mean, okay, so you guys know why IKEA have a food court, don't you?
Well, I mean, like it's a long day. You'd have to sit down.
No, Kev is right. So what happened was the owner of IKEA went around the original shops and realized people would leave after a couple of hours because they got hungry. So if you put food in there, people stay longer, and that's why it's
That's
there.
the logic of like Bernard Black and Black Books.
Yeah.
No, it's true. This is what happened.
No,
This
like
is
they've
what happened.
got the perfect system because it's designed that you walk a specific time. You know, you spend maybe an hour in the showrooms, and then that leads you right into the cafe.
Yeah.
And then that's when you sit down, you take stock, but then that leads, then from there you lead down to the actual like store part
where you start buying. Yeah.
Where you start picking up the pans and the candles and all that. So like you're already well fed.
Yeah. I needed a set of knives because I've, you know, recently learned to cook thanks to HelloFresh. Again, not sponsored by HelloFresh, but wish I was. Because everyone who I talk to, I'm like,
give us hot dogs.
Actually, that's not something they do, which they really should. Anyway, so I needed a new set of knives, you know, because I got onto this cooking thing. Because here's the thing, nerds out there, learn to cook. Genuinely, you really should. It'll change your life.
It's a good vibe.
It's a good vibe. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
no, listen to a good podcast. I may be able to recommend one. Perhaps this one.
Of this one.
Perhaps.
But yeah, no, and the thing about it is like I needed a good set of knives, and I was like, okay, how much are they gonna cost? And then while I was there, I was like, wait, we're here anyway. So I got a whole kitchen set basically for like 50 quid.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
So,
no, I
yeah.
got myself a lovely, like wide brimmed, high walled saute pan the last time I was there.
Oh,
and that has
super
been
good.
what I've cooked like everything in.
Yeah,
'Cause
I have a wok, and I cook everything in the wok.
you-
Near to no baking.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you mid
love
tangent, so I thought I'd
love
type it out.
Here's the thing. What we're like in our late 20s, early 30s. This is what happens. You get into it. This is what happens. But
we start talking about the loaves of banana bread we baked.
Yeah, we are. I know it's my fourth Simpsons reference, but we are literally like Nelson Muntz talking about berries and things, and then pretending to be like angry at Star Wars when people walk by, and then we go back to talking about cinnamon and stuff.
But the thing about the red berries, J.J. Abrams sucks. Now you gotta wait for the blueberries
Yeah.
season.
That's going to be our panel, by the way.
oh my god.
We're going to bring baked goods.
No, but what I will say is, afterwards I forgot they did hot dogs, and I was like, oh my god, this is brilliant. So I mean, the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is just have hot dogs in places.
If
People will show up.
if you want hot dogs, Gothenburg, Sweden have they're one of these countries that have 7-Elevens on like every street corner. Like a lot of European countries that aren't us. We need to get on that.
That's because we're not a European country. We're Ireland.
That's fair.
It's
So
different.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the 7-Elevens in Sweden have hot dogs for like 75 cents.
Holy hell.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
for example,
Literally.
guys, I went back to Disneyland because of the hot dogs.
They have hot dogs here too.
Yeah, hold on. I know, and I find them. This is what brings me to anime.
It's the one thing that connects random screenings of anime to like Disneyland.
I don't even know what these are about, Kane. As Kevin, it's like in the past like 5 weeks, I've seen like a love story, sort of like basically two people playing D&D and having a laugh. Something else I don't remember, and then this one.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I cannot believe that before we recorded, I said, I'm worried we don't have enough topics. Can you imagine that? How naive I was half an hour ago.
Ian, how many 184 of these? And you thought, man, we don't have enough topics.
More
we talked
for me.
about IKEA and hot dogs.
Do you think we could get sponsored by IKEA hot dogs? That'd be
God, I
unreal.
wish.
The mustard, actually, by the way, is amazing. I actually bought some. I was like, man, I need this, and I have not regretted that choice.
I've done that before, actually. I've brought food like home from IKEA, like in its like packages and all that.
Oh, I'm constantly bringing back like the plant-based meatballs from there. Ooh, and the cinnamon whirls. You put the frozen
super
good.
good.
You put
Yeah,
them in.
it's
Oh
super
man,
good. It's super good.
God, we are talking about baking. Dara, tell us about this video game.
No. Let me get Picard in.
Okay,
very quick.
Okay, go on. Get
Right.
the card in.
Okay, because I know that only me and Kev's dad have seen it, so I know
He told me about it earlier.
Yeah. I might be Kev's dad. I'm not entirely sure anymore.
Listen, I may work with him 5 days a week. I can't be sure either.
I mean, who knows? But I just want to say, in case it goes bad, this season of Picard is amazing. Like the other two have been kind of like dubiously questionable, but like this one's actually great, and it's like it's got that sort of. I almost wish you'd seen it, Dara, because it's doing these things where it's bringing back all the next generation characters, but it's like changing them and
That's cool.
making them kind of appropriate for their age, like their values are changing. But it's also the series has like a big cinematic thing to it. There's no padding. Like we're 3 episodes in and it's all been a big like gunfight in a cloudy nebula. Like the character stuff is great. It looks great. Like it feels more like a movie than the Star Trek movies. You know, it's absolutely class. And I'm loving what they're doing with the likes of Worf and Crusher and all of them. I'd honestly wish that you had seen it as someone who'd not seen much of Star Trek recently, just to see how if it was me kind of really happy that it's just good. or if it is actually like really outstanding. Because I haven't heard anyone complaining about this, and everyone complains about Star Trek, whether it's good or not, you know?
Yeah, no, as mentioned, even my dad complained about Picard. He's saying this one's good. Because like I never got around to the second season, but I did watch the first season. And my favorite part of that first season was when just Picard is hanging out in a cabin with Riker. And it's just watching Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes just hang out.
Yeah, exactly. It's got that thing for it, because I mean, I suppose we'll be 4 episodes in by the time this airs. Basically, the gist of it is that Crusher, the ship's doctor from the original Next Gen, sends out an emergency distress signal. Picard and Riker run in, and it turns out that Crusher had a son by Picard and never told him. And at the same time as all this is going down, there's a big conspiracy, and a brilliant villain played by Amanda Plummer, who I only know her from Pulp Fiction, but she's Christopher Plummer's daughter, is like chasing them around in a big epic like shit. Like she's the one with Tim Roth from the start, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's got this really like it's got this epic feel to it, but it's got none of the like convoluted like, oh, we have to time travel to this thing and to some sort of conspiracy. There is a little bit of wondering what's gonna happen, but it is just character stuff. Like the most recent episode I've seen at the time recording is literally just an episode of Riker trying to convince Picard to be a dad. And that's the heft of it. Like there's none of this like 5 plot lines going on that will eventually pan out maybe at the end. It's the good stuff's here now. And that's really refreshing, because it's not just Picard, but like there is a big thing in TV where it's like, oh, just you wait till it gets good. Oh, any minute now. This, you know, this just, the good stuff's here now. And even if it like goes wonky later, which it might, it's still good now. And that won't be affected by later. So I am loving it to bits. And I'm really gutted because it's the last one that they got good now. But yeah, if in a weird way, because we've just done a J.J. Abrams panel, if you're not like happy with the way 7, 8, and 9 turn out, I'd love for you to see this as like a point of comparison, because they're letting the characters be themselves and also grown up. It's really nice to see on screen, you know?
Yeah. No, like it's the impression I get is that like Star Trek, I think like we had a pretty extensive talk about this one episode in that like they've kind of like adapted to a modern media platform. They're just branching off and just trying so many different things.
That's true. I think I'm glad you brought that up, because I think they're slimming it down now, because Picard's ending. Discovery is ending after its 5th season. I've got to be honest, I don't like the glee that I see on social media around Discovery ending, because I think that's coming from people who watched 1 season and never checked it out again. Like, you know, because it's been quality for a long time now. But yeah, I think it's kind of Star Trek's found its rhythm. It may have found its rhythm a bit too late, but at least it has it now, you know?
Hey, maybe one of these days we're going to get that 4th Star Trek film.
Even Chris Pine is saying that thing's cursed.
Just bring Justin Lee back. Like, hey man, it worked the first time. Beyond ruled.
I'm doing the retro reviews for Geek Iron at the moment, and I've been like waiting to do Beyond for ages because it's great crack. And like when you tell people about it, it sounds really stupid, because it's like, oh, Kirk's on a motorbike, and like, oh, they defeat the villains with music, with rock music.
It's exactly what you get when you have a Star Trek movie directed by the guy who made the Fast and Furious movie.
I know, but like
and
when you say it, when you watch it, it's brilliant. And then when you try and tell someone, a bit like Fast and Furious in that way, it sounds like the worst thing ever.
God, I have to watch more. I've only seen 8, and I know I have to watch more. But that movie is...
You've only seen number 8 or the first 8?
No, like the 8th movie. I've only seen one of them.
You haven't seen 5, 6, and 7?
No. And it's the one where Charlize Theron hacks cars and Ludacris throws a missile.
Han is going to change your life. You've no idea what's ahead for you.
It's like one of those things. I keep telling myself I'm going to watch all of them, but I'm also like, I got to watch all the goddamn Freddy movies. I got to watch all the goddamn Jason movies. Like I've got things I got to watch.
You should watch all the Freddy movies. They're a good time. Don't watch.
Yeah, I know, Dara.
No, they are a really good time.
Yeah, I actually believe you. I just don't have the time. Can
I take you on a spoiler-free journey through the Fast and Furious thing? Because it's quite a trip.
Yeah.
Very lightly. I'm in the spirit of Dara's like kind of predictions in 10 seconds or whatever. So the first Fast and Furious is everything you'd expect. Vin Diesel, cars, undercover cop, cop learns to love them, lets them away, races, your bog standard stuff. Too Fast, Too Furious is like an offense to cinema. They scrap Vin Diesel and like all the cars are like CGI, which you're like, well, the only thing I came here for was cars.
That's
like you couldn't even do that.
That's something Dara would say about something, and I would take that lightly. Hearing it from you has heft.
No, it's probably not as bad, but just coming off Fast and Furious 1 is relatively good. 2 is shockingly bad. No one expected this to take off. Then Fast and Furious 3 is a reboot.
Is that Tokyo Drift?
That's Tokyo Drift.
It's a prequel. It's a prequel.
But it's not. It gets better. It's not a prequel because it's actually set in the timeline of Fast and Furious 7.
Oh, in the future.
We don't know that.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway,
that's true.
In Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift, which is not called 3, but however, they introduce Han, who's like the most popular character that isn't played by a celebrity. And in it, he's the mentor guy, and the main guy is some southern interchangeable guy, whatever. And they kill Han in it, and like 4 is a prequel to Tokyo Drift because they want Han back, but he's dead. But they make it a prequel just so they can get him back. And 4 is kind of whatever. And then main character's girlfriend dies or loses her memory or something. Then 5 is like the bank heist with The Rock as a cop after them. That's the one where they're dragging around a safe through like all these crazy places. Then like 6 is like a sort of bigger Jaws thing where they have to like team up with Dwayne Johnson. And by this point, all the characters from 2, 3, and 4 are back as the Avengers of cars. Then 7 is the one where they bring in Cockney actor Crank, Jason Statham.
Yeah,
Jason Statham, who this whole time was the one who killed Han back in 3. So now 3's back in it. And by the way, Gal Gadot is come and gone by this point. There are so many characters in this, and that's as far as I've gotten. But we haven't even gotten to 8, 9, 10, and Hobbs and Shaw, which by this point, fun. Jason Statham has also been brought onto their team. It's a trip.
The one thing I know about Hobbs and Shaw is Idris Elba screaming, "I'm Black Superman."
He does do that, yeah.
And this is a car movie, like.
No, here's the thing. It stopped being a car movie around 5 and then just became a superhero movie. It was explained to me at work, right? So Fast and Furious 5, from that point on, it's not a car movie. It's a superhero movie, but their powers are cars.
Yeah.
No, literally.
Somebody said the exact same thing to me, except it was after Fast and Furious 5. It becomes an anime, but their superheroes are cars.
Yeah. So
that's everything a really good comparison. Yeah.
So everything happens around the car. You take the car away, they're just normal people. But when they're in or around the vicinity of a car, they're godlike. And that's basically the premise of it. So
that's a really good way of putting it. And like their dedication to like their characters is like on par with like Marvel's continuity. They're bringing back people from like Too Fast, Too Furious, which no one liked, but they care about those characters, and now they're likable.
Yeah, but I think the secret I've heard, the secret about like this is when you have someone like Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez, where like the Marvel characters aren't taking themselves seriously, these guys are 100%.
They are
the
so
family memes wouldn't work unless they played it dead straight.
See, I don't even think they're playing it straight. I just think they believe that it's like brilliant.
But while you're watching it, you believe, just like in Star Trek Beyond.
No,
which is what we were talking about originally. That's gone.
Oh wow, let's go back. Hey, how many times? How much do we have left? We have to be hitting time soon, do we?
You'd be surprised. 1 sec. 18 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Now I do have the Mandalorian up my sleeve, but I know if we talk Star Wars, the episode will go. So I'd like to hear about your video game.
Okay. So guys, I want you to do something for a moment, right? So obviously we do a wrestling podcast as well on our network and on Phoenix FM as well, right? So I've been on the hunt for a wrestling game on the Switch for quite some time. And it's quite hard to do because a lot of them are terrible, or you just don't run it, right? So there's a YouTuber I watch and he reviews wrestling video games, not all the time, but he does do a lot of them. And I saw this one. and he says the best worst wrestling game ever. Right now, when I say wrestling, you guys are probably bored to tears, and that's fair. But
No.
what if-
I want to see where this is going. Best worst things are great.
But what if you can have a match on a plane? What if
Now we're back to Fast and Furious.
you can have a match in a bathroom? What if you can have a match in the ring, surrounded by tables, surrounded by weapons, which includes an N64, a pane of glass, a gun, etc., and you can basically change every aspect of it, including make it an exploding barbed wire cage match.
I'll be honest. From what you told me, this sounds just like real wrestling.
See, this
Well,
this
kind
sounds
of.
like one of the actually good PS2 ones.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. So this game is called Wrestling Empire, and Bryn did mention to me Wrestling Revolution, which is the precursor to it. And in that game, you know, you in the career mode, your character can straight up die. You can straight up kill characters, and they're gone. So you can kill them dead.
Goodness.
That's it. And it's, you know, it was popular, and then they made Wrestling Empire. Now it is on the Switch, and it's on the PC as well. So I actually got it for the Switch. I'll probably get it for the PC as well, so I can mess around with it more. But
I'm just looking at the graphics. Is this a port or like?
no, it's made by one guy,
Right.
and this is his gimmick. He makes these kind of games. Now it looks terrible.
I was kind of tiptoeing around that. Yes, I know.
No.
I know I can't convey the like visual nature of it on audio, but like
No,
Yeah, no,
some-
let me try. It's that
Yes.
you can count the amount of polygons you see with your hand.
but here's the thing, right? It's a throwback to like early Nintendo 64 games.
okay.
So
When everything was a bit more janky. Like.
yeah, it's a bit janky, but the jank works in its favor because you can actually mod everything, even on the Switch, because the Switch is a potato basically. It's a fancy Game Boy, so
Right.
it can actually run a match with 100 people in the ring on a plane, and it just runs because instead of putting all the money into graphics, they just put it into gameplay and absolute bizarre stuff. Now that's just the exhibition mode. You can actually play the career mode where
I was
again
about to ask, is there a plot to this?
there can be. That's the thing. So the career mode is you're a wrestler. You start in wrestling school and you try to get signed by a wrestling company. Now the Let's Plays are hilarious because anything can happen. I mean, I was watching one where you got onto a skateboard and killed a wrestler, and then you went to the funeral and everybody attacks you. You know, so it's just
Does this organically happen, or is this like is it like a
yeah?
sandboxy
It's
type
no.
game?
It's like whatever way, because again, like the time and money wasn't put into graphics.
Right.
It's put into gameplay and then bizarreness. So it's like you're playing the weirdest sim game ever, but with wrestling. Like for example, there's you can have bunk beds, and you could sleep on the bunk beds in the middle of a match.
Okay.
Do you know what? No, hold on. Do you know what this sounds like? To me?
Audio can't capture the look on myself and Kev's face, tragically.
No, do you know what this sounds like to me? Have any of
Yeah.
you seen those like those YouTube ads that advertise like mobile games?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the
Yes,
games
yes.
are definitely nothing like this, but it's that kind of like I think Crime Boss ones are usually like the ones that I see.
Yeah, like Mob
Yeah.
City or
Mob
Mafia
City.
or
So
something
it's like you can you make all these choices and they just turn out to be the buckest, wildest things.
Yeah.
Listeners, I'm sure you got it.
No, but this is real. This actually, like, for example, you can like the matches can start off as a podcast, so you can have a podcast with them, and then you'll say something, and then a match will happen. But it can be on an airplane, it can be in the ring, it can be in a
Is
podcast.
this still exhibition or like?
Yeah, but no, it can just happen as well in the career mode randomly, or they can be having a press conference and attack. But I mean, it's so janky, but it's also such a wonderful little game because it's made by one person.
You're doing a good job describing it, but I'm afraid I'm still like. Let's say I open this game.
Yeah.
What's the first? Like, am I walking around? Is there a plot?
No,
Is there nothing? Like,
okay,
take me on a journey.
Right. So when you open it first, you're like, this looks like one of those mobile games. I got scammed.
Yeah.
It was €16, right? You didn't. Well, I mean, it's objective. I don't think scam is you might have expectations, so just lower them down just a little bit.
Right.
So it opens up, and you can either do expedition, you can do wrestling career, is what it's called. So you can play, you can edit, there's achievements, and then you go to wrestling career, or you can just have an expedition match or whatever. So if you're looking for a story, you'd go straight into wrestling career, and then you'd start in a wrestling school. You'd get like a contract with them where you're working, have to build your character. Build your character up and then wrestle and then hopefully get hired. So after you win a couple of matches, then you'll become the champion, and then you'll have to move on to a real wrestling company, and that's it. And then all the stories break out.
You say that this sounds like an actual game now.
No, it isn't. No, there is an actual game in it as well. But I mean, the actual game is crazy, where like mad stuff will happen. Where like, as I said, you could be on a skateboard in a match and kill someone, and then the funeral happens, and you have to go to the funeral.
Oh my god! So just clarify for me. Is this like a well-designed throwback game, or is this like a so bad it's good game? I'm getting vibes of both at the moment.
You know what? If this wasn't the guy's MO, I would say, you know, maybe he just has a house style. But considering the fact that like Wrestling Revolution was really well beloved, like I mean, Bryn loved it. He went on about it constantly, to me anyway. But he was right. It's fantastic. But this one just seems to have everyone just... I'm on the Reddit now, and people are just besotted with it. And I totally get why. It's so unlike anything else, and it runs on the potato, which is the Switch. So I mean, you can mod it as well on the Steam Deck.
But that's what I was trying to get at. Like, is this like kind of a modded game, or
no?
Like designed this way?
Yeah, no, it's designed this way because this guy has made a bunch of, I think, what's his name on? I think it's called Mac D or something, or Mickey D or something. Can't remember his actual name. Hold on, I'll try to find it now.
Finding out that it's made by Mac from It's Always Sunny makes total sense.
No, it's by a guy called M. Dickey, and the thing about it is he has made a series of games kind of like this. Actually, so he's made a game where you play as where you hang out with Jesus in the time. It's called.
Is this also a wrestling game?
No, it's called the New Testament, and
right.
you can get crucified with Jesus. Like in a good way, like it's
consent to this.
No, like it's deadly serious. Like it's not a joke. Like it's a real thing.
Oh, so, Dara, I beg to differ.
No. Here's the thing. I think the reason why these games, like he has one where you're Weekend Warrior, so it's the same kind of thing where you're an MMA artist, and then there's one where it's like Star Wars, well, like it's called Back Wars. So you play as different warriors for different points fighting. You know, you go back in time basically as a modern army man, and you fight you machine gun down Romans. I think it's the real look. The jank is there, and even looking at you.
Yes, I'm looking at it. I'm discreetly flicking through. And I found a clip of people like wrestling on train tracks with a subway train heading towards them and stuff.
Yeah, none of these games are reviewed badly. They're not bad games. They're just graphically they are. But right. I think it's because these games, the earnest nature of them, where it's like, yeah, look, you don't have a budget as one guy to build this beautiful game. You do have a lot of creativity, and you're going to make the best game you can. And I mean, whether that be you wanting to be Jesus, be an MMA artist, go to prison, or wrestle, you can do all of them with this lad. And you know what? Bravo, sir. I've been playing this game a lot, and you know what? I'm actually right now, I'm going to buy all of his games. And I'm going to do a review of New Testament. Not a joke. I'm going to do it. It's €2.
And that's going to be our last episode, folks. Or
actually, I can do a review of Hard Time, where you go to prison.
He's got a wrestling game or he's got a prison game as well. Like,
no, it starts off in a courtroom, so you need to defend yourself, and then you go to jail. It's seriously.
Oh my goodness!
Art games are a wonderful medium.
They are.
Holy moly! Okay, well, like I'm in two minds about bringing up the Mandalorian. Now you're in such a good mood. All right, I'll pluck out something completely random that I only just found out today. Gorillaz have a new album, and I'm always alarmed that Gorillaz still exists.
Well, yeah,
like, I know you're both music kind of buffs. Like, Kev, are you kind of following them, or?
Here's the thing. As much as it may seem like exactly my thing,
Yeah.
I've never been a Gorillaz guy. And
Really?
not only that, and
Wow.
not
You
only
of all
that,
people.
and not only that, and this is where I'm gonna really show my hand. Only about a week ago did I realize that what's Damon Albarn?
Yeah.
I did not know he was the singer of Blur.
I see.
That feels like a secret everyone was keeping from me for
No, I
decades.
listened to
No.
Gorillaz for years and didn't know. No, I didn't actively listen to Blur, but I didn't know that either.
Okay, now, lads, you know when the Gorillaz came out, they were like announced as the lead singer of Blur's side project.
Yeah,
not paying
but like
attention at that time.
I was like 9.
It was very obvious.
I
They're
didn't
like,
know Blur were.
Wait, if you were 9, I would have been like 6. So
Okay,
yeah,
well
fuck-
maybe 10 or 11 or something, but it was primary school age at any rate.
Yeah, no, I did not.
that's-
An age where you would happily count the random 1 or 2 swear words in a pop song, that kind of age.
okay, well, look. Yeah, no, I mean, look, the Gorillaz are grand.
Oh, well, they're more than like they're bizarre. Like, you know, I mean, obviously everyone kind of knows the concept, like it's Damon Albarn as an animated band that doesn't exist.
You see,
But like,
what I will say is, man, I play in a black metal band.
oh, there you go.
So, I mean, the concept of what bizarre is
I suppose the ship has sailed a bit, yeah. But I just mean in the sense that like they're not a constant presence in the music scene, so they vanish for years on end, and then they just pop up with no warning, like some friends you knew in school who you haven't talked to in like 10 years, and you love them, and then they vanish again.
But that's why you love them so much, because they only have a certain sort of period of time.
And they've like roped in like Stevie Nicks and like Bad Bunny and like loads of really good collaborators for this one. And it's like, how? I mean, I don't keep track of them, but like surely someone must have heard about this.
So Bad Bunny has
today.
Bad Bunny has just announced his return to WWE as well.
What?
He was a wrestler?
Yeah, he's actually like a really good wrestler.
Oh my goodness! It's almost like we planned it.
Yeah,
I'm not even being sarcastic.
No, he shows him some. So was Jake Paul, and he's actually.
Oh well, yeah, we
surprisingly
knew
good
that.
wrestler.
Well, that's the like his whole shtick just fit into wrestling because wrestling's full of awful people.
Yeah, but Bad Bunny also shows up and has the good old wrestling match every now and then leaves. He does.
I mean that also sounds like CM Punk's whole deal as well. So
Yeah, but everybody hates him.
and that's why they keep getting him back.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well then, like, Dara, it sounds like you're not kind of too fussed on them either. I thought everyone loved them then.
No, it's not that I don't. No, I mean, it's not that I don't love them. They're grand.
Yeah,
like if they're on, I'll be like, oh yeah. And
that's it. Like
they'd
be a band I wouldn't like go out of my way to listen to. And I feel like I should get like listen to more of their stuff. Just haven't had a chance.
No, I mean, I like all their stuff. I listen to it. It's grand.
Oh, I'm in the complete other deep end. I love them to bits, and like,
and that's fair.
Like, and like kind of with that analogy earlier, that feeling comes back when they pop up, and then they like vanish again, and it's like, all right.
Plus, now is the wrong time to ask me because we are in the hype cycle for a new Metallica album. And
have you? No, dude. The
7 years.
That third song they released.
I like it. I like it. I'm gonna get feeling about this. I've been burned before, but I'm gonna get feeling.
I want Saint Anger back.
Oh, I think I sent you the Train Records video of that. Like, all I know about Metallica, apart from like Enter Sandman, is that people don't like Saint Anger.
It is not my least favorite.
Okay, the thing about Saint Anger is, right, legitimately the songs are actually pretty good, except for Dirty Window. I'm not a huge fan of it. The production, the actually original production, kills that album dead. And if you want
to,
it
plays on the bins, isn't it?
Effectively, bin.
Hey, no, I'm going to stand here and defend that snare sound. That snare sound actually rules.
Yeah, in reggae, where it's supposed to be, not like normally, man.
I like it. I think it is.
Okay,
gnarly.
okay,
it is
okay,
tinny,
okay.
and it works with the drop C sound.
Okay, now do me a favor. Right, hold that thought. So there is on YouTube, Google Saint Anger 2015, right? And if you're playing along at home, pull over your car safely, or whatever you're doing.
Or your drum kit, whatever.
So go to Saint Anger 2015, and it will give you an hour video by a fella called Daryl Gardner, where he and his mate have completely re-recorded, remixed, and remastered Saint Anger from beginning to end. It is the only way I listen to Saint Anger. It's phenomenal. And Kev, I will encourage you to check it out. You will really like it. And then let me know. Genuinely, if you prefer the other one, I would totally respect that.
To be fair,
I think you'll have a good time.
There is a weird renaissance happening with it, because even the band themselves are kind of coming to terms with it, where they're starting to play Saint Anger songs live, but modified.
Yeah,
You were at Slane, right?
Oh yeah. No, I wasn't. I will never go.
I should warn you, we've 1 minute left.
1 minute. Okay. So just kind of go over quickly. They played Frantic at Slane, but they fully reworked it. I think cut a last verse off and added a guitar solo. Like they reshopped the whole song. And I think they've done this with a few different songs at varying times.
It started with Dirty Window.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Saint Anger, right? It's great. It was too ahead of its time. Should have been a side project. And I think it gets a bad rep. However, until they re-record it like these lads, I encourage everybody to check this out, because this will give you a new love of it. Frantic is a killer song, and most of the songs on it are great. There's one or two terrible ones, but there you go. That's what it is.
And overall, it's still better than Death Magnetic, and that's going to be our show.
Yes, it is. No, it is. It absolutely is. Also, I would say Metallica have been a bad band longer than they've been a good band. Ooh, hot take.
Darren, that's lukewarm at best.
It's not.
I can put that against my my wrist and feed that to a baby. That's. Thank you all for listening. This has been Nerd to Know Basis. We would like to thank everyone that came to our panel, of course, at Comic-Con, because this will be coming out afterwards.
And you can check it out. You can check it out.
It should be on the feeds before too long.
Yes, this is our hype not for the panel, but for the recording of the panel if you missed it. So,
and our hype for our Patreon.
Yeah.
Our Patreon. So if you go to nerdtoknowmedia.com, there's a link tree, and then you can take us right to the Patreon as well. Give us some money, because, why not?
We need hot dogs.
We do need hot dogs.
And on that promising note, learn to bake.
Yes.
Thank you for checking out our panel, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye now.
Bye.
She says I'm not romantic. I say she's too dramatic.
Alright, so you're listening to the podcast, you're like, hey, I'm not in Ireland, how do I get in touch? Well, TuneIn has you covered. That's how you can check us out live when we're on the radio. You go to TuneIn and download the app, or you can check out the live streams on nerdtoknowmedia.com or Phoenix 92.5 FM. If you want to get in contact with us, it's very easy. Nerd to Know Media everywhere. Nerd to Know Media on Twitter, Nerd to Know Media Instagram, Nerd to Know Media on Twitch, Nerd to Know Media at gmail.com if you want to reach out via email. Hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you for listening to a Nerd to Know Media production.